Hi, Christian DeVries here with AOS, and I'm coming to talk to you today about reflection. September 11th is a day of reflection for a lot of us. And I remember early in my coaching career, I was up at the University of Minnesota Morris coaching when this horrific event took place in our lives. And I remember, okay, what are we going to do now? And one of the things that we had to do as coaches is sit down and talk with our athletes about what was happening. But we also went through a point where, you know what, we weren't going to compete for a short period of time. Now, it wasn't like we are now in the pandemic that we're not competing for a long period of time, but there was a time that we really had to think about what was going on in the United States. We had been attacked. How do we process that and how do we deal with that? And so we always look at September 11th as a day of reflection. This morning, I had a great opportunity to be on an interview with FSU coach, Florida State University coach, and doing an interview with Tim, who runs their interdisciplinary program on coaching. And, I just enjoyed being on this interview, talking about my journey of being a coach for the last 25 years, what that has meant. We talked about the challenges that we have as being at a community college now. And then we actually talked a little bit about AOS. And we talked about what it meant to be a coach and like what I like to call become an athlete-centered coach. And after I finished that interview and I started to reflect a little bit about that interview and what we had talked about, I really was able to sit down and think about, and I put this in a meme today, about understanding our own capacity, and we have the capacity to make changes in our lives, and that we are the ones that can control that. And that one way that you can control that. So as I'm talking to you as coaches, as I talk to you as parents, as I talk to you as student athletes that have this desire to continue your sports career, or you want to see your young athlete move on to the next level, your high school coach want to see that athlete move on to the next level. Maybe you're a college coach and you're working with your own athletes and you continue to try to help them understand what it means to move to the next level. What you have to understand is only they have the capacity to do that. Only you have the capacity to make the changes in your life that you need. And I am often reminded, I was remembering during this time of reflection on this talk that I had with Tim that I didn't bring up in my discussions with him, but now I want to bring it up and talk a little bit about it, was one way you can make a change in your life, one way you can make sure that you're moving forward and what you want and what you're doing is going to really be able to do the unexpected. Don't do what's expected, but can you do what's unexpected? It is when you step into the realm of doing the unexpected and you can move into that thought process of what I can do that's unexpected, do you have the capacity to make change for the better in terms of what you want to do. So what that might look like as far as an athlete, or if we're talking to an athlete, it's one thing to show up on time. What is it to show up early? It's one thing for you to go ahead and do what's asked of you, but it's another thing to say, what can I do to help? It's one thing to sit there in the training session and listen to what coaches are saying and what they want of you. It's another thing to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? So don't just do what's expected and do the exercise, but really, can you reflect on what was the exercise really about and what am I going to do to help me become better in doing this exercise? And so it's this idea of sitting back and reflecting and thinking about what I can do to become a better version of myself and what can I do that's unexpected for that to take place. And so as a coach myself, I'm always being challenged in what I need to do. And, I talk to coaches, I'm talking to athletes, I'm talking to you guys and want to really just pour into you as you start to go on your journey and what that journey means for you. And I've held on to some of this content. I've held on to some of these things because I didn't know if I was really ready to give it to you. And I'm being a little bit vulnerable here. But you know what? I've got to do what's unexpected and I got to share from my heart. And so I'm going to step out on that limb and I'm going to do what's unexpected. And I am going to try to come into the Facebook Live and give more live interaction with you guys because that's the unexpected. And that's where I can make a change in my own growth as a coach. And I can reach out and really become better at who I am and what I'm doing by sharing what I've done over the last 25 years. So as you go into this weekend, and this weekend that we're going to be talking about 9/11, we're going to be reflecting on it. I'm seeing what's happening on Facebook. Ask yourself, what can I do that's unexpected rather than just focusing on what's expected of me? This has been Christian DeVries with AOS. You guys have a great weekend.